Greetings, my fellow warriors. So, a lot of us are invested in Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. We know tickers FNMA, FMCC. But there's a less known investment related with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and some people did invest. Those are junior preferred shares. Though that is actually the debt that is like created when Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac needed liquidity. They created the preferred shares, sold them in order to take the money. On those preferred shares, they created that they will receive the interest or the dividend. The interest is around $7-8 and 7-8%, from 4 to 7%. So they still exist, and I think I did own them for a while. It was like good investment. For example, I did own them in case that government decide to create receivership or liquidation, that and Fannie Mae is on certain aspect dissolved, company goes into liquidation. I will be able to recoup at least part of my money. So my option was like, I will buy enough preferred shares in case that company goes into liquidation, that they cover the cost of my common shares. So I had like around 20% of the junior preferred shares. But then everything started to develop, and when I find out that and realize that we don't go to liquidation and there will be no receivership, my decision was to move completely in common shares. And then I sold those preferred shares, move only to common. So I'm now 100% common shares, mostly in Fannie Mae. But what also happened that at one point of time, I didn't invest because I let other people think for me. That was the real reason. I was so lazy to think that I did listen other people what they think and didn't evaluate their thought. And that cost me. It cost me a lot. So, but the question is now, what I wanna talk. What is the real value of them, and what is going on with those shares? First, that is like we must say that that is like 17-year-old debt, because preferred shares are debt. They're not equity. They're equity only in case of liquidation, so they don't. Their value as equity is only in case of liquidation, or in some rare cases, in case that there is like overhaul of the whole company, they can become equity. But we know for sure, as you can see now on the slide, that is from Charles Schwab website, that they're callable only for cash. So that option that they will be converted to common shares is out of the game. So that stays out. So we cannot say that they will be. And that is number one. Number two, the value of those shares, as you can see on this slide now, is at par is $1. For Fannie Mae, this is a picture for Freddie Mac. For Fannie Mae, the value of that is 0. And if you look at the 10K of Fannie Mae statement, you will see that it is posted that Fannie Mae have preferred shares have stated value, and stated value is used only in case that preferred shares have the par value of 0. I also found the document. Actually, the guy on the Twitter, Midas, posted some screenshot, and he marked the first line, but then it was something about like something like that common shares have no par value. Common shares never have a par value. It is like always zero because their value is in equity, but not in the, it is not debt. Compared to the preferred shares, they have the value in the in as a debt. And on the second line, I tried to find it. I know that it was like he posted, and I comment that it was the, it showed that that also junior preferred shares, that those series are created with par value of zero for Fannie Mae. I will try to find the document and post the screenshot, but I tried before, I didn't find it. Also, what we know is that they can be called at any time. By buying them, you need to be aware of that. On top of all of that, maybe the problem is that they're not liquid. And even if you're entering to that bigger position, if you have like small position, 10 to 20,000, it's not a big deal. But if you have bigger position, you're stuck. You cannot pull out. You cannot take the money out without, like huge discount, like, and somebody tried to, like if you look their price, if somebody tries to sell 10, 20,000, I had around 10,000, maybe more, 15, something like that. And I waited a whole day, and I'm no one, like I'm no one, and I had a problem selling them. Can you imagine the people who have millions in them? And there are people who have millions. There are hedge funds that have like probably $1 billion in those shares. First, they will try to protect the price of the share, what we can see daily, and we can see in case that we take a look at the charts, and for example, it goes, like big sales, then small buys, or you can see, look at the end of the day, they execute the price, they execute the share at the end of the day in order to save the price. So they maintain the price like respectively. They're trying to do, but in reality they cannot be out of the position, and we know that their destiny is doomed, because if nothing else, just think, did anyone from the government mention anything about those senior preferred shares? No. Even Paulson, who was like who we know that hold a large amount of the preferred shares a while ago, we don't know now, didn't mention anything, no one is talking anything about preferred shares. And that, if I own them, I would be scared, to tell you frankly. Thankfully I don't own them anymore. I convert everything to common, so I'm good in that aspect. But if you need to buy them, think about the liquidity, think about the future prospect of those shares and the future value. And what is the most important at the end, how much money you can make on the investment. Like if I make the money, I like believe in the guy, in the Peter Lynch advice, like I will take and invest the money with that can be like 10x, and that can, like I will have high risk investment, but with the potential that they have 10x profitability or more. And that's why I choose to go on a common. But let me ask you, what do you think? How much will be the value of the preferred shares maximum? It cannot be more than 25 or 50, depends what kind of series it is. That is maximum. Plus $0.50 from the Lambert suit, that's it. They will not be able to receive the previous interest because they're non-cumulative. So there is no way that they get the money they was supposed to receive in the previous years, because they are non-cumulative. The government, when they enter in conservatorship, they paid off all cumulative shares, so they just left non-cumulative to stay on the books. And their par value is $1 or zero, so they can be written off. Think about it. It is your money. I was thinking about my money, and I done what I have done, and it's all up to us. And as I said, like, I like to be in a common shares because I think that they can grow more than anything else, and I believe that they can go like 10 or 100x or 1000x, as I said, what is also possibility. So we'll see, but the whole point is that we can that you need to think and to question everything. And in case that you want to convert to common shares out of the preferred shares, like you need to pay the capital gain, correct? Yeah, you need. And but what needs to for common shares to grow only 12% needs to offset that capital gain tax that you need to pay. So in case now the price of the share is 8, how much? Let's say 8. It is a little bit more, but let's say 8. So it needs to grow up to 9 that you offset the amount of the capital gain that you need to pay and still stay in the Fannie and Freddie consortium shares and opportunity. Thank you. Bye.